Hello everybody, it's Brian from Brian's Budget Bonsai, and today we are celebrating a first milestone for me. We got 500 subscribers today. I know that's small for a lot of channels, but for me it was a big deal, and I decided that this evening I'd take a little time out and have a video once again thanking all of my 500 subscribers. I do appreciate you guys. I know I don't do the old like and subscribe pitch at the end of my videos like they tell you you're supposed to. I just seem to forget, but again, while I'm thinking about it, yes, appreciate every one of you guys that have liked my videos, commented on my videos, subscribed to my channel, and of course I love interacting with you guys. Some of you guys are on there all the time. Tom, you're one of my #1 fans, I think, and I'm one of yours too. And I'm just lost for words, I guess, at this point. So let's get on with the pruning. And today I've got some box elders that are overgrown. We're going back to the deciduous bonsais for a little bit, and we're going to prune them up. They need a haircut, and again, you're going to see they're suffering from this heat we've had. I think today was the first day we weren't in the upper 90s with over 100-degree heat indexes in probably about 2 weeks. So these definitely probably should have pruned them sooner. But once again, thank you all, and see you in a little bit. Okay, today is time for the haircut for this first box elder. A box elder is actually a type of maple related to the maple. It has a compound leaf rather than the traditional maple leaf that we're used to. And you can see I've got a nice long leader growing out here, or at least a shoot that's shoot up there. I don't know if it's going to be my leader, but it's definitely added some vigor to the plant, but it's also sapping a lot of energy. So might need to start by giving it a bit of a haircut here. So yeah, so maybe you can see where the natural canopy for this is right about here. So we're going to try to see if we can go just below that. Let's do ironwood here. Okay, going to cut this. Got my long internode right here with no leaves, and cut that off right there. And do some extra small pruning on some of these other ones, just cutting them back. And then we're going to figure out what we want and what we don't want after we've cut everything back. This guy comes all the way down from the bottom. We don't want him. He's way, way too far from home. Got some crossing branches here. This one crosses this one. This one doesn't have anything that I like. It's just one single branch. We're gonna get rid of that. Let's see, got some yellowing leaves. Again, this was probably starved for a little light. And I have a tendency to keep things very close together on the bench. Everything's starving for space, but that also means it's starving for a light. Cutting back again, so getting rid of some of this might even do a partial defoliation. Or maybe even we'll see if a complete defoliation. There's a lot of yellow leaves on here. There's a lot of damaged leaves on here. This might be a good candidate for a complete defoliation. But if we're going to do that, we're going to time lapse. Okay, so now we can see the branch structure a lot easier. And I was trying to show you before, that just didn't show up really well, like some of the major cuts that I had done in the past when this was a tree that was growing in the garden beds. So you see that right now that this is, the what's the current leader. This right here, very coarse growth. This tried to take off as the leader. That was that long one that had extended up, 2 feet above the rest of the tree. But really, it's growing from the base of this branch here. And actually, that is not something I currently want. So this is actually going to go. I'm going to, boom, cut that off. And I'm going to get in here with my knob cutters. A couple of the branches that I took off that I didn't want while I was in there. I'm going to clean up some of these old cuts that I have made in the past that maybe not so pretty. There we go. Cutting that away here. I'm going to cut this back till I see a little bit of green, a little live growth on there. Because what I want, you see that had actually stopped trying to roll over. And that meant that wound was not going to heal anytime soon. So I get in there and I get in, really just kind of take out the dead wood and try to see if I can get down to a live edge. Same here with this. Now if I can get any closer there for you there. Let's see, that's what we did. We got this one cut back to live edge, cut back a lot of that dead wood there. This is a more recent cut. This is a more recent cut. And again, down here at the bottom, got another one. We got to trim that back so that doesn't become a bulge when that heals. You can see some of this is already started to bulge out a little bit from not cutting it too flush. And again, you see that in natural trees when they are cut back. I mean, they lose a branch. They'll have a knob on there. I'm gonna have to be careful with this one. This could go too thin if I lose the whole branch. So I'm gonna be a little more careful. Got some of my woodworking chisels. This is a rounded one. And this is kind of a flat one. Flat angled one has a little bit better precision. I can go in and just kind of shave that off a little bit. Shave that off a little bit. See, I'm still not finding, where is the live wood on this? This is a lot more of dead wood than I anticipated on this. That's going to take a lot of time to heal. Oh, that's way back there. Oh my goodness. Way on the other side of that branch. It's amazing how much of that was dead wood. So that's going to leave a pretty significant scar if that isn't worked down a bit. It may take a while for that to heal. Let's see if I can get in there with the curve and get a little bit more of that dead wood out of there. And again, trees do have deadwood features, but we're going to try to see what we can get, if we can get some wound healing on that. So this ended up being a lot more than I expected on this particular branch. Now that's going to have a better chance of rolling over. But let me give you a close-up of that. That right there ended up being a lot more before I could actually find live wood to score there. Now, if you look on the side there, yeah, that does actually increase the taper a little bit, but then it starts to bulge out a little bit more with those extra branches being a little thicker. So I'm hoping that that'll heal when I cover it with some putty. And actually this one you see is actually one that I did putty before. And actually it looks like it's got a little mold in there. All right, we're gonna cut that out. Oh, that was a little spidery thing. So I'm gonna get in there and cut away some of that. Must have been a lot of branches coming from that area. Oh yeah, see, I had a cut here, a cut there, and a cut here. So there was a whole bunch of branches that I got cut away. Originally this spot, you had those 3 plus these 2. Yeah, there were 5 branches growing from that one spot. So I had to cut away a lot. That left a lot of scarring, and they're not all healed up yet. I'm gonna have to probably, let me see if I can cut away a little bit more of this here. Get this little like crest almost between these two to get a little more of a notch. Okay, so I am just going to speed things up here a little bit. I obviously figured out how to finally do that part. So it's not quite time-lapse, but it's also going to be a little bit faster as I find out the hard way how much I actually have to carve away to get back to the live edges on this. It was much more extended than I thought it was. There was only these very thin live veins in a lot of these places where I was going into, and I just had cutting away until I found green. And as I'm pointing out some of these things right here, very thin veins getting to some of these branches. So this may have been mistake, but hey, you live and learn, and we're going to find out maybe the hard way of whether or not this was a good idea. I watched that, almost stabbed myself in the palm or the thumb on the other side. No blood, no foul. Alrighty. I think I'm finding live vein all the way in there. So yeah, that's ended up being a lot of more carving away than I originally anticipated. But you never know when you do foliate something that hasn't seen the light of day for a while. So this definitely, oh my goodness, when did I knock the camera over sideways? There we go. All right, so this is definitely going to be the front, not only because it has a good look to it. You've got this branch coming forward here, but also it hides all of those scars there. So I'm thinking that we probably make this the front, have this be the leader. You see a little bit of the scarring up here, but it's not nearly as pronounced. And again, right now it almost has 2 leaders, but I'm not going to worry about that too much because I'm not going to cut off one of these yet, because those are both going to help heal this big old mess. It's going to draw up the energy into there, and that growth up here in the next couple months is going to hopefully help heal this. So I'm going to put you on time lapse again while I putty this up. Okay, and done with the puttying. That does make it look a little bit nicer, but again, will hopefully protect those things. A few things I did leave alone. I did leave that knob there. Again, might add some character. Same thing here, got a slight little hollow going on here. Another branch cut here. This might end up having a lot of scars on it when it's all said and done, but again, sometimes that can be a feature. Sometimes it can be a distraction. I'm hoping those will heal up pretty good. Always looking for your tools. Always putting them down somewhere. Just going to cut off some of the more vertical growth on there, as well as an old pruning stub. And hopefully that will just encourage some of that that pad formation. A couple little prunes here. This is a crossing branch I don't want. Up here, that's a dead branch there. Pruning stub. I can do a better job than that. There we go. This one's kind of growing a little bit more towards the center. I might just take this part off here, allowing that part to grow. And again, I may decide to replace that with that one in a little bit. Take that one off at the base. There's a little damage to that branch. It must have gotten twisted or bent, but I think that's all I'm going to do on this one, maybe. You always find a little something else you can do, right? All right, so I'm going to cut this branch back because it's really thick. It's got 2 branches on either side, and then I am going to take off that one in the middle. And a little pruning stub. I think that was getting too thick. These thinner branches should hopefully take over. Don't want that one there. And again, that's kind of a wide split right there, but with 2 thick branches in the middle, that might close up a little bit with time. But I think I'm just going to add a little putty to those last ones and then be done with it. I won't, then we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, Here's another box elder that's reaching for the sky, all the way up to there, all the way back down to hell. All right, so again, need a wide angle lens for this baby, but we're going to try to get this back down into size a little bit. We may need to take the same approach as the other one is. It's like chop off those big runners up the top and then do some defoliation. So it's time for time lapse. Okay, so this is a little easier to see what's going on in here now. You see, obviously, it's going to be a broom style. It's coming out pretty good, actually. You can see where I did some major chops. Again, this, as the previous one, were grown from seed and in my growing bed for a couple years and had some hard chops. It probably also has significant deadwood in there. Don't know if I'm going to go into carving up this one like I did the other one. And that one I kind of like got started down that path and had to finish. This one, well, we might leave well enough alone. Yeah, there's no reason to poke that bear right now. Slight interjection here, jumping in the middle. Kind of a spoiler alert for what the tree is going to eventually be cut back to. But when I said I wasn't going to poke the bear and start cutting away at where I thought that deadwood might be, well, I couldn't resist. I turned the camera off and started poking around, and next thing I know, oh dear, look what I did here. That is how much I had to cut back to find the live edge of that dead area there. Again, too many branches probably cut off in the same area. So I don't know what the lifespan of that branch is going to be. Good half of it is dead. We're going to see if we can get this to roll over and eventually heal, but this might take years to heal. But yeah, just kind of let you see what it did. And well, don't know if this is just something the way I pruned it initially while it was still in the ground and those hard prunes died back too much. Or is this something that's systemic problem for this particular type of tree? Again, try to ignore what you've seen here. It's a spoiler. Okay, it's getting late. It's like 10 o'clock right now when I'm filming this, and I had the little alarm go off on my phone to tell me I should be going to bed, but we're going to finish this. First of all, it's got some significant dieback on some of these things. Yeah, this one was pruned here, and I thought I was going to get leaves here. It died back all the way to there, but see, it then shot off 2 branches in there. So we're going to get rid of this big old dead branch there. Clear that up a little bit. Get in there with the knob cutters maybe. And make sure I'm carefully. Oh, not careful enough. Well, mistakes happen. Alrighty. I don't know if I actually even saw that. I may have blocked that with my body on that last one, but that's okay. You didn't need to see me make that mistake. So I accidentally cut off that branch. Oh well. Actually, we're going to then this one big long internode, but there is a leaf scar right here. So I'm going to actually cut this back a little bit here like that. See if I can get a better ramification and more taper. It's an old leaf scar, I mean old pruning scar there. Again, this here, just got to be kind of careful. Don't want to repeat my mistake. And again, kind of a long internode here with no branching, but there's a leaf scar here, a leaf scar here. We're going to try going right back to that one. See if we can kind of force though that some back branching there. Kind of same thing with this one. This has got a really awkward thing. It kind of like comes out and is zoop like that. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. So we're gonna go back to here. This tiny little branch growing on the underside, we don't want that. This tiny little branch growing on the underside there, we don't want that. Let's see, working our way around. We're going to go to that leaf scars there, try to see if we can get some branches there. This long, thin branch here with it's 2 branches coming off the same location. I like this one better because it's a little bit more horizontal. We want some horizontal branching on the lower level. So this does not have any divisions between here and there, but I'm going to see if we can just cut that back to there, see if we can get some branches right there. There are some leaf scars there, but I'm not quite sure about that. Up here, we got some dieback branch there, a little pruning stub and dieback. And I'm going to go back to there. Got one here, one here. I like this. I'll go back to here. Here you can see I did a previous, turn that a little more so you can see it rather than I can see it. This is my previous cut, and I got 2 branches from there. Now I can just kind of go there and there and hopefully get some branches, or I could decide to go all the way back down to here, to this branch, see if I can split that off. Now if you want to be more aggressive, then yeah, that's the thing to do, is cut that back to there and see if you can get branches to come from here a little closer in. I think that's what I'm going to do. Again, this is a free tree. This is where you kind of hone your skills, your decision making, not on expensive material, but on stuff that can take a beating. And if we're going to just take that approach, we're just going to go back and we're going to do that to everything we see. We're going to say, you too long, you too long, you too long. These guys are real close together, right there. This one and this one. I might not keep both of those. And again, I'm getting kind of freelancing here with my my camera work here, just grabbing the tripod and swinging it around. I have no idea of whether or not I'm going to cut off the thicker one. It gets a better taper. Cut it back to those 2 leaves. Here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 branches coming from one spot. That could cause inverse taper. You see if this branch is coming on this way and then this way, that this is kind of competing with that. And that kind of this is competing with that for dominance, and again could cause some swelling and inverse taper. If you're not familiar with that term, that is when the branch or the trunk is thicker further up the trunk than, let me use this, then further down, you're supposed to have the thickest part of the lower part and the thinnest part at the top. But sometimes if you let these branches grow all from one spot, you'll have a bulge in one area. Get rid of that. Okay, now we've got basically two branches coming from this part, one going to the back, one going to the front, to the side, I should say, if we're considering this the front of the tree. Not quite sure which is going to be the front. Probably not this one, because you take it from this side, you got the branch poking right towards you. Haven't even gone in at the roots, but if this is the front, then we could probably get rid of this. I know we're pruning that up a little bit, but it is kind of right there. You do see a little bit more scarring there, but again, what I like about this in terms of a lot of broom style branches of trees is you do want the broom style, but also kind of like, it's nice to have it kind of like an open hand like that, where you can see all the branches. And that's what we're kind of getting in this thing, is that open hand look, where you can kind of see into the center of the tree, and then this will all fill up in the canopy eventually. Alrighty, so we're going to continue to be a little ruthless in our pruning. All of these going back to not the first leaf scar. And again, if we are doing this in a defoliation stage, then yeah, it probably doesn't matter whether or not we're going back to a leaf or a leaf scar. Okay, here's another dilemma. Right here, branches off, you got some branches here. You got another branch that goes off here, but it's as thick as this one. And got a lot of strength coming in here, and that was drawing up a lot of thing. But if we took this off and like that, then this branch comes here and then here, and then you've got these two here. That is a possibility. It does, again, increase the taper. One of these two would then become the next leader. Or we could just take this off, say this is our branch. We don't need this one. Let this one be the leader, and then maybe decrease the amount here, because we do have 1, 2, 3, 4 branches coming from one site. So I know we don't want as much of that, but I don't know if we want to get rid of it completely. Kind of on the inside of a curve, we might get rid of that. What to do. I think either way, I don't want this one. This one right here. That one's gonna go. Boom. Shoots across the room. A little pruning stub there. So it's like fat, a little less fat, a little thinner. This and this exactly the same diameter. We're not getting much taper right in between there, and again, might even start to get a little bulging in that spot. So again, be bold. We are going to take this off. Boink. Adios. Alrighty, so let me clean that up just a little bit with the concave, the knob cutter, I should say. Right about that. So again, hopefully we get some good healing over in there. And we'll see what we can do with that. That also might be same situation with here. I might prune that back hard on that side, because again, if we're looking at some of the other taper of the other branches, This one doesn't have the same type of taper, but if we cut back off this, then yeah, that's our new taper. That's our new leader for that branch, and getting a lot more taper. So yeah, this guy got hard pruned, and we're gonna putty up the cuts, especially that one, and then he's back on the bench. Alrighty, so I think that's all we're going to do today. We're going to edit this down a little bit so it's not so long, and I appreciate you guys. Again, thank you for the 500 subscribers, and hopefully continue to let the channel grow, and I will make one of my rare, don't forget to like and subscribe, leave comments, all that other stuff. It does help the channel grow. It does let the algorithm know that this is stuff that you like to see, and you'll see more of it. But you know, not naturally a pitch man, even for myself. But in the meantime, y'all stay cool, and happy bonsai.